welcome to Murphy's Garden. It's now the 7th of May and just thought it's about time we did a little update of what's going on. Bit of a transitional phase because a lot of the stuff in the greenhouse is going to be ready for planting out. So that will go, and then we'll start getting the greenhouse ready for the tomatoes, and also I want to do my hanging baskets probably at the weekend. So we'll just look at how everything's doing. Now I've got lots of things that are actually outside hardening off, but I've just brought some in just to show you how they're doing. So this is the sweet corn. I've got probably about 12 of these plants, possibly too many as usual. So they're really strong plants, and they're very ready to go in. And then I've got some of these runner beans, and again I've got probably about 12 of those, which I'm growing some for some other people as well. And then I've got loads and loads of courgettes. I've got the traditional courgettes that you buy in the shops, and also the round ones as well, which I haven't grown before. So there's a variety of different ones. Also got, I've just got one pumpkin. So that's actually, one of the leaves went a bit funny on that, so I've just cut the leaf off. So hopefully that will survive. So that's that. So they're all ready to go outside. I've got lots of tomatoes, and the tomato plants are getting bigger. This is the Marmande, so that's quite a large sort of beef variety tomato. And then I've got masses and masses of, these are just money makers. So I've got, I must have about, I think I've got about 20 of those, so everybody will be given a tomato plant. I've also got some flowers. I've got trays and trays of these petunias. Grew those from seed. I've never grown petunias from seed before, but they're quite nice little plants. And also I've got lobelia, little clumps of lobelia, which are still very tiny. But anyway, we'll see how they do. I might buy some as well. If not, they're not really that big. And I've also got lots of cosmos. This is meant to be a dwarf variety. I have tried to grow dwarf varieties in the past, and they've ended up being just as big as the normal ones, so we'll see. And then these are zinnias, which I absolutely love. Fortunately, some of them didn't germinate, so haven't got that many of those. And then the other thing which I love are these are sunflowers. They're called Miss Mars. It's a kind of like a very burnt orange colour, and they're absolutely lovely. So I've got quite a few of those as well. I really like those back of border. And then got some Michaelmas daisies, and what else have I got? Oh, these are aubergines. Got 5 aubergine plants, far too many, but probably 2 will be enough. So they're doing quite well. And then I've also got, this is the sprouting broccoli, purple sprouting broccoli. I've got kale, and I've also got calabrese, and I've also got ordinary broccoli. I'm going to be coming down with broccoli and stuff, but anyway, it's good for us. And then the other thing I've been growing is I've got lots of lettuces which have gone out in the garden. I'll go and have a look around the vegetable patch in a little while, but this is just rocket that's doing really nicely, so we're just picking that now, and we're having that in sandwiches, so that's really, just pinch it out with you and eat that. And I've also got this is some basil that I'm growing, which has been quite slow really. So yeah, everything's doing very well. Oh, and this is also celeriac, and I've also got celery. And then these are leeks, which I've just potted on, and they need to be watered, but I've got loads and loads of leeks. So so that's what I've been doing in here. And then outside, being very, very busy. I've been painting everything. If it doesn't move, it's been painted. So we've got my shed, which is has been painted in the past, and that's painted with this Cuprinol fresh rosemary. So that just needed touching up. So probably about half a tin of paint, managed to just whiz around with that and touch that up. So that's looking a lot better. And then Alistair's shed, we had some willow Cuprinol paint, which we've used in the past, and we've painted that. His shed was looking quite sad. So given that a coat of paint. Now that took, oh gosh, that took about 6 cans of this. I think it's 2.5 litre tins. So I think that took about 6 cans. I experimented with this. We've got a sprayer, so I had to go with that. But To be honest, it just kind of went everywhere, and I think it was easier just to do it with the brush. So that's that. And then I had the brilliant idea, this area, when I do the videos, it looks quite dark and it didn't look very nice in the background. So I thought we had some of the fresh rosemary left over. So I thought, oh, it would be a good idea to paint this backdrop with fresh rosemary. So used it, started at the back, painted that, and that used up the entire tin. So we tried to get some more to do the two side areas. And of course they didn't have that colour, so we bought some pale jasmine, which we've used elsewhere in the garden. So I've painted either side with the pale jasmine. Actually, I'm really pleased with it. It looks really nice, and it's reflecting lots of light back into the greenhouse. So the space looks really, really big now. We've moved the water butts, which were at the front, and we've actually put them at the back, and that's created much more space. And so the idea is that we're going to put some racking, some shelving up on the fencing, and then I can use that for sort of hardening off plants and just an extra place to store things. So yeah, I'm really pleased with how well that's turned out. So we'll go and have a little look around the rest of the vegetable patch. The other thing I've been doing, Alistair's been busy doing, he's been repairing the fencing, which was damaged. Well, a lot of the post has been in a long time. A lot of the posts had gone rotten. So he's been putting in some concrete spurs, so he's done that. That's been quite a big job for him. That's now done. So he wanted me to paint that fence, so I did that yesterday. I haven't finished it, I've got more to do. So yeah, busy getting that done as well, and that also looks a lot better. So yeah, it's looking good. So we'll just go and have a look around the vegetable patch. So I'm now in the vegetable patch. We've just had a little downpour of rain, and it's now really, really hot. It was hot before, but it's really hot now. Murphy's just fallen asleep on the path and just rolled off the path onto the potato patch. So he's very relaxed, and he's also got a nice sample of all the different colours that we've been painting on the fence on his tail. So that's all matted and needs to be dealt with. Everything in here is doing well. We've got the potatoes are now through. The main crop at the back are well through. The secondaries, these are the constants, they're a little bit behind, but they're still doing okay. And the pears, you can see in the background here, are got some lovely little fruits forming on there, so they're looking really healthy after their move. They were moved just earlier in the year, so we're pleased that they've established well. And this is the Invincible pear, that one's the Conference, so they're looking good. And then if we move over to this area, we've got the apple trees newly planted as well, so they're establishing. We're just waiting for it to put on growth here, and then as they put on growth, we just bring the branch down and tie it in. And broad beans are getting quite big now. They're doing well. We've got a few little patches with ones that haven't taken at the back, so I've got some in the greenhouse that we can put in those gaps. This area, this is the peas. Now the peas are doing well, but so also are the weeds. So in my attempt to stop the pigeons and to obviously give the peas something to climb up, I've put these sticks over the whole area, which seemed a good idea at the time, but now the problem is I can't get the peas to weed. So that's a bit of a problem, but I don't know what to do about that. So anyway, the peas are doing well anyway. And then this area, we've got the structure here for the runner beans, which we saw in the greenhouse, so they'll go in. I'll probably put those in the next couple of days now, so we'll get those scrambling. And then this area is all ready for this is for the cabbages and all the things that usually get attacked by caterpillars. So we've got a big net that Alistair and I measured out the other day, and it should cover most of this area. Again, we want to just leave this small slither here and this slither here, because we're going to plant the squashes and allow them to scramble over an archway, which we'll assemble here. So I've got some calabrese that I grew on in the greenhouse, and I've started to put that in the ground, and I noticed that already some of them have been attacked by something, so we really have got to get the netting up. And then over on this side, I had planned on putting, this is mostly fruit on this side, so I've got the black currants and the gooseberries, rhubarb and raspberries, and I was going to have a small strawberry patch here, but I haven't really been able to get hold of strawberries. And also I've run out of space to put the French beans, so I'm going to use that for growing my French beans. So I've got two different varieties. There's the yellow ones, Kinghorn Wax, and then I've got these Compass dwarf French beans. So I did plant some in the greenhouse, but as you can see, for some reason only 2 plants have come through, so the rest I'll just directly sow into the ground. And then on this side, this was a bit of a mistake really. Before I had decided to use this area for cabbages, I sowed some parsnips. I had some old seed that was left over from last year, and parsnips are meant to be that you can't, old seed doesn't usually germinate. It can be quite slow to germinate, parsnips, but anyway, I sowed it and I noticed that all of them have come through and they're actually doing really, really well. I then managed to get hold of some parsnip seeds and I've planted them over there, so I've got too many parsnips. This area doesn't need to, the parsnips don't need to be netted, so whether I might try and move those somewhere else, I'm not quite sure, but if this area is going to be netted, I'm going to need this area for the sweet corn and all the other cabbages that we've got growing. And then over here, the raspberries are doing well, and then this is just the rocket that we grew, and this is deliberately grown here because it gets some shade, and rocket will bolt quite quickly if it's got too much sun, so we're picking that now and we're eating that quite a lot. Also got a little row of radishes here, and then next to it some, I think 2 rows of chard, I believe it is, and then this other area is free, and that will accommodate some of the things that are in the greenhouse. We've got lots of lettuce. We've got some rind lettuces which I've planted. I just planted those yesterday. I've got some broccoli under the net here, and then I've got carrots. I don't have much success with carrots, but I optimistically try every year to have another go. I've got some in the greenhouse in a big pot, and then I've put some in here. We've got very stony soil, so it's always a bit problematic, but they're meant to be just a quite short variety, so we'll try them. And then I've got some spinach and lots more lettuce. We get through masses of lettuce at this time of year, so we're trying to encourage it to come on. We've got more over here, and then we've got some herbs, parsley and some dill in that bed. So everything's doing really well, and really enjoying this period of time to spend a bit more time in the veggie patch.